Hello everyone, welcome to another twin flame video. My name is Ahorangi Starchild. I'm a violet ray twin flame. I'm New Zealand based and I am so happy to be with you today. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my style, subscribe, share my videos. I'd like to get my views up, I'd like to get my numbers up, but most of all, I would like to bring information, to bring clarity, understanding, or maybe even just point you in a direction of self-discovery, research, and growth. Apparently, that's what we're here for in this dimension. Okay, it's learning and growing. And I want to thank everyone who's been asking me questions. That is something about my channel that I've always wanted to embrace is encouraging people to ask questions so that I know what information to bring to you, and I'll be trying to post those as often or as quick as I can to answer questions. However, I am working full-time, and before I make a video, there is preparation that I need to do, for myself, to rest, recuperate, meditate, and just to get my energy in a place where I can share high vibrational energy with everyone who's sharing this beautiful journey of light and love with me. Okay, so first of all, I had a question. So we're talking about two things today. We're talking about the violet ray, aspects of violet rays, personality traits of violet rays. Below this video, I will put other links that will help you to embark on this journey of discovering your ray. And the other aspect that I will be talking about is twin flame children. So first of all, I will clarify twin flame children. So if you don't know what a twin flame is, as I said, below this video I will have links. Twin flame mission will explain what twin flames are. There is also the previous video that I made on violet ray that I will link below this video as well. And once again, I encourage you to ask questions. Ask me to clarify if you don't understand. These links for my Facebook and my email address is below as well. Okay, so twin flame children. Let's talk about the twin flames themselves first. Do twin flame rays always match? Yes, they do. Why do I say so? In other words, if you look at the spectrum of the rainbow in all the rays that is in existence, so that is actually a part of light. It's an aspect of light. Okay, it's a frequency of light, white light, because white light contains all the frequencies. Okay, but if you understand what a twin flame is, which is the same energy in two bodies, so that's the basic foundation of what a twin flame is, then that in itself says that a twin flame set or twin flame couple must be from the same ray. Okay, so you'll get twin flame a masculine violet and a twin flame feminine violet ray. Okay, however, the twin flame unions from various rays, in other words, you will find throughout your life that you might meet other twin flames from different rays, and you might be drawn to them to collaborate with them in some way, shape, or form, to work together or to manifest something together. That is definitely a very strong possibility of collaborating with other rays, but the twin flame union in itself will be of the same ray. The second question, what about twin flame children? Okay, so if you once again have a look at the video that I published, Twin Flame Mission, you'll see that there is a difference between a twin flame and a soulmate. Okay, so it's actually a complicated question because some twin flames decide not to pursue the union and they will unite with a soulmate. So children in itself, they are souls who agree to a contract to enter this life in a high vibration frequency. In other words, these children will, I feel, have very strong spiritual elements in the way of being sensitive, highly sensitive, whether this is being physically sensitive to the environment, emotionally sensitive, spiritually sensitive, psychic. We all have those talents, highly creative, highly intelligent, maybe even, depending on the situation, autistic or have some sort of mental or physical disability. Why do I say this? Because souls that enter in a high frequency sometimes choose a challenging life in this realm to be able to overcome and develop further. Because in this dimension where we are now, this is a dimension of learning. It's a dimension of rediscovering for spiritual beings to manifest in the physical, to have physical experiences. So children is not necessarily twin flames. The children of twin flame couples, I feel, will have definitely a high vibrational frequency to them, but they still signed a soul contract to experience and grow in this life. So it very much depends on the soul contract that has been agreed upon between the soul of the child and the soul of the parents, okay? Even twin flame couples in union, if they have children, not necessarily their children will be twin flame either. I do feel that the concept of twin flame, or the concept of divine feminine, divine masculine, will usher in how the twin flame children relate to their future partner, wife, type of dynamic. And what I say here is, because the purpose of twin flame is to usher in the deep connection between masculine and feminine, where masculine and feminine has been balanced. It's been rebalanced, recalibrated, everything being brought back into balance, so that the connection between masculine and feminine dominant can go into the next spiritual level. In other words, we are ushering in the way of relating through being telepathic, through being emotionally, mentally, energetically, and physically very attuned and sensitive to the frequency of our divine feminine, divine masculine counterpart. So there is a deepening of the connection between masculine and feminine that the divine, the twin flames are ushering in, which is the new template for masculine and feminine relating, because the frequencies and the energetic balance is being restored between masculine and feminine. And this principle is kind of being forced by the twin flame concept, okay? Is because the souls who had signed up in their soul contract, yes, you signed up for it, you're not crazy, okay? The souls who signed up for these high vibration connections are forced into it. There's no choice. You made your choice when you made that agreement spiritually. So while you are here on earth, if it's possible for you to walk away from what you would term your twin flame, if you can walk away and forget about your twin, then it's most probably not a spiritual connection. It's most probably not a twin flame connection, okay? It was most probably a plutonic connection, and I will post the link for that video below as well. To determine the difference between a plutonic connection and a twin flame connection. Okay, so the mission of twin flame is to usher in the deepening of the connection between the masculine and the feminine. And the children born out of a twin flame union are those souls and individuals who will find it easier to tune into their life partner or their counterparts frequency, energetic frequency. And I can only describe it as a way of let's say two doves. I like to use the analogy of two doves. Doves mate for life. There's a lot of mammals here on earth mate for life. Okay. And how do they don't know how to explain it. It's just the way it is. Is you come into this dimension, you recognize your counterpart, and that's that. There's no need to shop around, look around for something else, something better, because it's a perfect fit, okay? And so this is where twin flame goes. It's not about, and some people want to romanticize it, and they want to say, oh, I found my perfect person, blah, 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 which is something that I don't promote that idealistic sort of, how do I say it, Neptunian, type of illusionary energy when it comes to twin flame. To me, I've always been very realistic about this, and I feel it's very necessary to stay grounded when it comes to twin flame unions, divine masculine, divine feminine energy. There's enough illusion, there's enough deceit, there's enough false information, out there. So it's not that I say it's not romantic. It can be, but within reason. Okay, I mean, it is kind of like the flip side of the era that we grew up in. Many of us, where you would play the field, you'll go out, you'll date, you'll have, going on the dating scene, you'll date I don't know how many people before you actually find someone to settle down with. Whereas with the divine feminine, divine masculine energy is much more specific, okay? It's kind of like going into the other realm of not having to date, not having to try out everything in life's buffet, kiss many frogs to eventually end up with your prince. It is almost like that process is being eliminated in some way, shape, or form, where you meet your person, you recognize them, you stay with them for the rest of your life, because that's just the way it is. And what this energy is creating the possibility of really getting to know your person, really getting to know yourself through your person, taking relationships to the next level of a deeper connection while you still stay independent and fully functional and emotionally, mentally healthy in your own right. So this is where the balancing comes in between the two, feminine, masculine energies in union. It is to be able to deepen and have a more kind of sublime, subconscious energy connecting to individuals in a spiritual way while they still maintain their own identity, which is a much healthier way of relating in this paradigm, where you have the sense of being deeply connected while still have healthy boundaries and still being detached to a certain extent. So that is the balance, okay, between the masculine and the feminine. Whereas we come out of an era where there's a lot of imbalance, we're coming out of an age where there's a lot of imbalance and codependency. Okay, so that is kind of like the where we flip the switch, and that is what twin flame is about: is to flip that switch to restore the energy between the masculine and the feminine. Okay, so I can go deeper into that, where we are now at 16 minutes. Okay, so this is going to be a long video. So if you have any more questions concerning children, divine masculine, divine feminine, go on to the videos that I list below, and please feel free to ask me more questions, okay? And then we can have a talk. That's what my channel is about. It's I see us as a collective. When I express my point of view and my perspective here on my channel, it is about knowing that I am just one individual with a perspective that I bring, looking through my lenses at a situation and an experience, which is colored with my own personal spiritual growth and my own path. So if there's anything in this video that you don't resonate with, that is okay, because not all the information that I share here with you will vibe with everyone, because it is about frequency. It is about still being your own individual person. And the way I see it, it is like if you look close up at a television screen or a computer screen, you'll see the little pixels, each and every pixel with its own little color. And as you step further away from the screen, you can actually see the whole image of what each individual pixel is bringing to that image. Okay, so that's how I see myself. I see myself as a pixel in a big screen, and I just bring my color and my perspective, and each and every other individual, maybe talking about the same subject, will also bring their own perspectives. And when you step away from it, and when you start to take in the information and you start to do your own research and you use your own healthy reasoning and brain function and how you want to perceive things, that will also help you to draw conclusions for yourself and bring your own perspectives concerning things like twin flames in union, twin flame rays and their children. Okay, so I very much encourage you to also do research. If you're a violet ray, you resonate deeply with violet ray, research anything with violet in it. From plants to crystals like your amethysts, there's a vast amount of research that you can do that will help you to discover how the violet ray is actually manifesting in your life, and how it is that you can tap into it and move forward with it. So let's go into the question that someone asked me to bring in more information about violet rays. So let's have a look. So violet ray is the 7th ray, and I will also post that link below this video where I talk about violet ray, my first violet ray video that I made a while ago. So some say the violet ray is about infusion and a blending of various energies together. And it has to do with transmutation and transformation. In my previous video, I did say it resonates with Ascendant Master Saint Germain, but today specifically I want to talk about Uranus, because Uranus is the planet which vibrates to the 7th ray frequency. So it's a little bit of astrology, a little bit of astronomy that I'm going to talk about today, because I am an astrologer as well. Not formally educated, informally educated since 1988. Okay, so Uranus. Okay, what is transformation? Transformation is the actual result of changing form. It is a marked change in a form, like a butterfly, from the chrysalis to the butterfly. That is transformation. What is transmutation? Transmutation is the process that is taking place to help the butterfly transform from the chrysalis into the butterfly. Okay, so I just want to get those two processes clear, so we just to bring everyone up to speed who's watching this video when I use terminology. So the aspects of the violet ray, what violet ray does is transformation and transmutation. And sometimes we can't have those without a revolution. That's why Uranus is coming in here, because Uranus was discovered during the French Revolution, and that is one of the reasons why Uranus also resembles a revolution and not wanting to conform. Okay, it's about the rebel, it's about breaking out of the mold. And it's also about, when you look at the planet Uranus, it's the only planet that's revolving on its axis, diagonally. It's not like the other planets that's horizontal when, in its, how do I say it? In its revolution around its axis, actually lying on its side. Okay, so everything about Uranus is about not sticking to the rules. It's about being unusual. It's about marching to the beat of your own drum and just doing whatever you want. Okay, whatever floats your boat, and whatever you feel is authentic, to you. It's that Uranus also rules electricity, so it is something that comes out of nowhere, and it's random and it's disruptive, but it is because the purpose that Uranus has is to break the mold. Okay, it is to break out of the mundane, the things that we're used to, that little box that we like to categorize things in. Uranus comes and it breaks that down so that you can expand and grow. Okay, so with a violet ray personality, what happens is how do I say this? Sorry, it's spiritual information coming through. Okay. So if you think of Uranus as an electricity in the body, most violet rays will be energetically very nervous. They have a very sensitive and nervous system. Okay. They would have innovative thinking, thinking out the box, don't want to conform. It's also Uranus as the ruler of Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius is a fixed sign. So once you identify with being a nonconformist, a rebel, a rebellious person, a rebel without a cause, even, that is something that doesn't change about you. That is something that will always be a part of you, because Uranus is the transformation, transmutation process. Uranus is the instigator. It's that lightning bolt that comes in and gives you the zap that prompts you over into action, that breaks down your fixed way of seeing things and looking at things. I feel like for some of us, it is like you are constantly growing in a very fixed way, if that makes sense. I know it's a contradiction, but whatever the purpose of you in your violet ray mission is, it is to continuously break the molds of systems and things that are here in this dimension that is fencing us in and boxing us in and limiting our growth. Okay, and therefore you will have a very sensitive nervous system, because you'll be overthinking, your mind will be active. There's forever making notes, lots of ideas. So sometimes you might not even write them down, lots of vivid dreams. I feel there's a lot of things happening in the nervous system and in the brain, you know, the with the electricity in the body. Some of you might have nervous tics, restless legs at night when you're trying to sleep. There's this nervousness, you know, that's always kind of around, and you have to really take time to slow yourself down and to create spaces and time for you to relax and to be in an environment where it doesn't stimulate you, but rather make you peaceful and meditative and restful. Okay, so that is one of the things that violet rays have to really strive to do. And why do I say this? Because violet ray resonates with the crown chakra, right? It's a very spiritual energy. But here is where it comes in, is everyone on this planet will go through dark night of the soul. Now, I've made 3 videos on dark night of the soul, just my own experiences, more like a vlog type video. So dark night of the soul 1, 2, and 3, and I'll post the links below this video. So what happens during dark night of the soul is that as an individual, you gain your first life experiences, more like in the way of exploring your life and who you are. Okay, then round about your 30s, 40s, you will go through a period where everything that came before in your life goes through a period of reevaluation. And if the direction of your life wasn't in line with your soul purpose, you will go through a very intense transmutation, transformation, which I call dark night of the soul, which is the breaking down of the structures that you were programmed in. In other words, the family you were born into, the values, the culture, the language, everything that was instilled with you by your parents or your family or your upbringing, your education. If any of those structures don't serve you as a violet ray during dark night of the soul, all of that will be broken down. It will be absolute chaos, especially when you meet your twin, who is going to be the absolute instigator of this process of the breaking down of the you know, the ego that doesn't serve you. And when I talk about ego here, everyone needs ego in this world. We do live in a dimension of duality, black and white, masculine, feminine. Okay, your ego, a healthy ego, is here to help you maintain your personal space in this world. If you don't have ego, you won't have an opinion, you won't have direction, you won't have anything going for you. You need a healthy ego in this reality to be able to function, okay? But there are structures in our ego that doesn't serve our life purpose that will be totally and utterly destroyed so that you can step into and embody that violet ray energy that is going to take you to in the direction of where you really need to go to make progress, not only in your own spiritual development, but to be of service to Gaia, humanity, and even as far as our solar system and our galaxy. Okay, so I've made notes. I don't want to leave anything out. So what happens when we go through dark night of the soul? It's actually when the violet ray, it will be a Uranus transit in your chart. Okay, if you're a violet ray, and I like to combine my spirituality to astrology, because astrology is an esoteric science. So it's not just for me pie in the sky. I need something that will validate my experiences and the information scientifically. I don't just want to channel information. I want to back it up with something more solid. And to me, astrology is a very solid science. For some people, astrology might not be a solid science, and that is okay. But what I'm saying is, as a violet ray, Uranus, the planet that rules the seventh ray, will have a very strong, prominent transit in your chart, okay? And it will activate your violet ray to break down all the structures in your life that doesn't serve you. Normally, this is with a Uranus opposition in astrology. Okay, it's round about your 40 year mark, 41. It starts from about maybe 36. Okay, then could potentially start to shake things up a bit. But I would say it's in total full swing, full blown Uranus opposition round about the age 40, 41, 42, 43, 45. Okay, that 5 year, and it will just break down and break down and break down. It will totally revolutionize you. It will revolutionize your life. You will have such a strong urge to break free, be yourself, be authentic, that there won't be anything in this world that will hold you back from trying to pretend, that will make you to pretend something that you're not. It is going to be such a strong force within you, because Uranus is the planet that connects the inner planets. So that is the moon, Venus, Sun, Mercury, Mars, okay? All those planets are inner planets. And Uranus connects the inner planets with the outer planets. The outer planets are Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, okay? And so that is why Uranus is the transformation, transmutation, planetary manifestation of that energy. Because when we go through that dark night of the soul, and our spiritual energy is literally being ignited to spark and to put you on a spiritual path, because the first half of your life is gaining practical experience, okay? Until that point where you go through dark night of the soul, then you're going to learn to take that practical experience and you're going to use it in a spiritual way. There's a huge amount of spiritual growth during that time. It will blow your mind. Sometimes you feel you go crazy. Sometimes you feel, most of the time, you don't even feel you belong here, okay? Which is, that's quite natural. And you will totally discover during that time who you really are. During that time, I discovered I'm a starseed. I'm a starseed from Vega. I'm associated with the Lion people, and I come from Lyra. So there is a whole a whole new world that is being, presented to you, and the way you perceive your environment, this dimension, and your whole life just changes irrevocably, okay? Because that is what Uranus does. It revolutionizes, okay? And it takes you into the journey where you start to connect your young life, your life of experiences and exploration in the physical world, with which is your ego. Okay, where you very much identify with your ego and who you are in this world. And it connects you, it helps you to transform and transmute that ego into a substance where you can now work with your violet ray, where you can look at life and experience life through the perspective of violet ray energy. It's like putting on sunglasses with violet ray glasses, and you start to look at everything in its way of the potential that it has when it does grow, and when it um, does transmute the possibility of energy to transmute and transform, and you have the ability to see the end result of that transformation, transmutation. And you see this in everything. You see that all your creative projects, you see the potential that you have very clearly, and you will follow unorthodox methods to achieve your goals. Okay, it is, in this case, if you're a violet ray, it is to absolutely embrace your own uniqueness, even though your environment and people around you might see you as someone who is way out, far out there. You might become, they might label you as weird or unorthodox or going against the grain, all those type of things. But it is to embrace that and to say, well, yeah, that's what I do. That's who I am. And still speaking, still going out in public, still putting yourself out there, in spite of being sometimes rejected, but sometimes very, very, very much welcomed. And in this journey, you also discover your soul tribe. You find other violet rays who speak your language, and each and every violet ray will have their own mission. Okay, so I kind of feel like, how long are we? 37 minutes. Just checking. So I kind of feel like for now that is, that is what I can share about being a violet ray. And being a violet ray doesn't mean that you have to go out in the world and be big and be, on a platform, or having to be, very public or that. Violet rays, just by embracing the vibration of violet ray, you become how to say it, like a little energetic hub wherever you go. And with each and every interaction, or even non-interaction, even if you just go out to the grocery store and you walk down an aisle and you walk past someone, there is an energetic exchange, that will happen because of you being a violet ray. I can't talk about other rays. I'm talking about my own experiences, and sometimes it's just in a conversation with a stranger that they will say, "Oh, you uplifted me," and you will say, "Oh, I was just being me." To you, that's nothing special, but to other people around you, being exposed to violet ray high vibration, to them it is, I find, quite a pleasant experience from the feedback that I see from people with whom I interact on a day-to-day. As you know, I'm a checkout operator at a grocery store. And so I have a lot of interaction in my community by just going to work. And that is the thing. You don't have to do anything huge. Just go about your everyday routines, and you just facilitating Violet Ray is more than enough to usher in that energy of transformation and the ability to transmute for other people. So what do? We facilitate energy that assists people to gain different perspectives and different points of views to help them in on their own path, their own development, and their own spiritual journey. And for us, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be a simple word, a simple look, a simple smile, a simple gesture that will bring big changes into other people's lives. But not only other people's lives, but also your own life. And making the transition, starting to become aware of who you are as a Violet Ray is actually much easier than it is, because the actual painful part about being a Violet Ray is when you discover that you are actually something more than just a human being. That limited perspective that we are born into, that path that we embark on our spiritual journey in whatever religion, whatever culture you were born into. The painful part about being a Violet Ray is when those programs that you're born into are being broken away and shattered, and it feels like, sometimes it might feel like betrayal, like your parents or your family, or your situation might feel like you've been lied to, that they haven't been telling you the truth. um, there is also a feeling of maybe a feeling a bit lost, not knowing what to believe in now, because that's a transition where everything you believed in, everything that's like the foundation of your life, is being destroyed. And then that is the most painful part. But when you embrace that journey, however painful it is, you'll start to see that there is a new way of existing, a new way of being. Okay. Also, another thing about violet rays is, even though in some cases the violet ray is about infusion and blending, and bringing together various elements. Okay, if you think about the age of Aquarius, then there is also I how do I say it? Personally, I don't feel the blending and the infusion comes with the making the transition from being in a very, how do I say it, enforced ego kind of way, me against the world. And then the blending and the infusion happens when the ego becomes a healthy ego through the introducing the violet ray energy, the high vibrational spiritual growth in your life. Gives you the ability to maintain a healthy ego with a high spiritual vibration. Okay, and when I talk about high spiritual vibration, I don't say that violet rays are better than others. Okay, so we all like that TV screen with the pixels that I said. Violet ray is a pixel in that big screen with all the other rays, forming this beautiful, beautiful picture of life. Okay, that's how I see it. So we're not better. We're not, everyone's just on their own journey. It's like going through the lolly shop and you pick your flavor. Okay, right. So with Uranus, and we're going into the age of Aquarius, I also feel like, even though there's this infusion and blending of energies, there is also the understanding of your pixel, your individual self, and how you connect to all the other pixels, all the larger consciousness, so to speak. And I feel like on this journey, you start to look at other individuals, even though they might be very different to you. You also start to see through your own spiritual growth and development, you have the ability to see how their pixels work together with you as a pixel, if I can use that analogy. You start to see how you work together, how you complement each other. Even though there might be like vast differences, you start to see that even if someone is black to your white, or you are black to their white, you can see in that contrast how you are actually reaffirming and confirming each other's individuality, even though we are part of a collective. So that's the beauty of being a violet ray, is to see all the colors, all the pixels, and you start to see how even the contrasts bring out the beauty in each other. Also, when it comes to violet ray unions, I feel maybe for the violet rays might take a longer time to unite and get into union with each other, for the simple fact that it's seventh ray, it's Uranus, it's rebellious, it doesn't want to be dominated, it doesn't want to be part of something, it wants to do its own thing. Okay, the infusion happens in your own energy, with your own ego and your own spiritual, individual kind of identity. But when it comes to being part of a union, even though there's this deep desire to be in union, I feel like when it comes to violet ray, the conflict comes from the conflict in violet ray unions is that beautiful sense of freedom that must not and will not ever be destroyed. Not that I'm saying that, or sacrifice, that's the word that I want to use. Not that I'm saying that other rays, I don't know how other rays are, but I can tell you when it comes to violet ray, because 9 out of 10 times violet rays start off with codependency, and then they make the transformation, and then they taste the sweet liberation in their violet ray journey. And then it's, well, how do I, the next conundrum is to work out, how do I still enjoy my freedom, my liberation in a connection with another person without having to sacrifice myself, without having to give up, or how do I compromise with it? So how do you compromise freedom? How do you negotiate with freedom? Even if you give up 5% of freedom, it's like, yeah, you're giving it up. So I feel like for violet rays, that is most probably the ultimate challenge. And also because it's crown chakra, it's very spiritual. There is, I do feel, to a large extent, there is a lot of chemistry between violet rays, but to settle down Uranian energy is a task. Okay, so that's why I kind of feel like with the violet rays, there will be more often than not, it takes them longer to get together in union, simply because of the how do I say it, randomness and the electrifying, the high chemistry, the heat, the intensity that you will find in violet ray union. So the spiritual understanding, I do feel that for both twins in union, and we know twin flame in union is a spiritual connection for all of us, no matter what your ray is. but I feel for violet ray, it's really, 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 can you grow and evolve to the point where you can fully see that your divine masculine, divine feminine, with their contrasts, okay, with their black to your white and your black to their white, that they still complement each other, and not to take things too personally, okay, and to yet have that ability to go deep into your connection while you still maintain your freedom and your own authenticity without any codependency. That is because codependency is the human factor. Okay, that's the human factor. And once again, it's that human factor, the ego, making the transformation, going into to the spirituality, to the spiritual side of it. Okay, with Uranus electrifying your life and your spiritual journey, and finding the balance between this beautiful spiritual experiences that you have, whatever they may be, and yet still have that human desire to be with someone, to share your life with someone, to have the deep connection with someone, and at the same time not lose yourself, to still be your authentic self, to not become codependent, but yet have that a deep spiritual connection. So there's a lot of contradictions. There's a fine line that needs to be worked out and walked out in these connections. So I hope this video helps you. I hope you find it interesting. Please ask more questions. I hope I answered all your questions, and I love connecting with you. Thank you for watching. I send you light and love. Bye now. Light and love.